Well, this one is going to be an interesting one. So, a little bit of a story to this specific PS5. I'm just going to put the case back on because it fell off in shipping. Yeah, there's a bit of a backstory to this. So this is number 2 of 2. Number 1 of 2 is there. So number 1 of 2 was no power, same as this one. That's number 1 of 2. The reason I've left it apart is because I don't know if that customer is going to pay for the repair. So the TLDR on that is I've had to put an encoder and a south bridge on it, but I can't get confirmation till Monday that the customer is going to accept it. So for the sake of finishing the video this afternoon, I basically completed the repair, replaced the south bridge and encoder, and then I've just left it taken apart until Monday, because if the customer doesn't pay, then I'm going to be taking my encoder and south bridge back off. So that one came in for no power, and it was a case where lightning struck a building. So I thought that it was 2 PS5s off one customer. It's not. It's 2 PS5s from 2 different customers from the same building that got struck by lightning. So basically this is a lightning damage, and I've already fixed one literally 2 hours ago with lightning damage, and that took out the encoder and the south bridge. It took me 2.5 hours of work, but I don't know if the customer's going to pay for it. I've quoted 150, but that's business to business prices. I don't know what Console Repair London's quoted, but I've quoted 150 for the work I've done, and even that was cheap. So yeah, this one here is another one from the same building, and it's got no power. This is going to be interesting because this one's got no power as well, apparently. So let's have a look. Right, this is completely dead. Okay, so this one's different to the last one that I worked on. The last one I worked on did beep, so it did show signs of life, but just wouldn't turn on. There was no blue light, nothing. Not to be mean to the customer. How can the customer send it to you and not be interested in paying for the repair? No, it's not that. It's the problem is the customer's already been quoted by Console Repair London, but that quote was based on one fault. So the quote was based on, you know, it could be the power supply, it could be the encoder, or it could be the south bridge, or it could be a component on the board. The quote isn't for multiple issues. Like, for example, I've managed to get hold of some encoders. So I've got some brand new PS5 encoders. These do work, by the way. So the PS5 encoders on AliExpress, they are legit. They are legit, confirmed. I've already used one today. So basically these cost me £30 per chip. I bought 5. So the problem is I can't replace an encoder plus a chip which you can't get, and that's in this case the south bridge. You can't charge the same price for an expensive chip, one of the most expensive chips you can buy, at £30, plus the cost of a rebuild on a safe bridge and replacement.
7 months.
Thank you, Captain Beardrum. I appreciate that, mate. So yeah, this is a little bit of a coincidence. They both died at the same time. Number 1 and number 2 died during a thunderstorm. So 2 and 2 together makes 5, and everyone's come to the conclusion that it's down to that. But apparently it took out a hell of a lot of devices in the building. Like, it took out TVs, it took out I mean, the other one shorted on the Ethernet. So it took out the networking. It took out the networking part of the south bridge, which was pretty rough. So, yeah. Can't find the encoders on AliExpress. Type in MN, so M for me, N for not you, 864739. Yeah, so this is completely no power. Completely no power. This is a digital edition again. The last one was disc edition. So it's going to be interesting to see. One heck of a thunderstorm. Yeah, apparently it killed TVs and everything. It was nuts. Like, it took the lot out, apparently. Like, it was destroying absolutely everything. So this hasn't been messed with. Just to bear that in mind. This hasn't been messed with. It hasn't been opened. It hasn't been... I mean, that's happened in shipping. The cases were loose when they come here. That's happened in shipping. But we've still got the warranty sticker intact. I mean, it's filthy. I'm actually going to put some gloves on, because it is filthy. Absolutely filthy. Wow. That is a lot of fucking dust for 18 months. So, 649 and 2/3 of a screw later, and we're in like Flynn. Hey!
TGX tipped $21.46. Phil, get yourself a quiet cordless screwdriver.
Yeah, I should do, shouldn't I? I really should. Thank you, dude. I appreciate the tips. Right, so... yeah, we've got no power. So the first thing I'm going to do is test the power supply, because it's completely dead. Like, there's just no power coming through at all. So yeah, completely and utterly dead. So the first thing I want to do is just see if we've got 12 volts coming through the power supply. So let's go into Zappy Zap mode. That is the official term. It's Zappy Zap mode. And this is a shorty power supply. Well, this is going to be boring. Power supply is short. So what has it taken out? What do we do? Do we just swap the power supply and be done with it? Or do I open up the power supply and have a look? I'd have a quick look at the PSU. Well, they are expensive. Alright. I'll clean that in a minute. Let's just confirm first of all that it is the power supply. Let's just pop in a replacement PSU. So let's make sure that I've got 12 volts back now. We get 12 volts. Cool. And that turns on. Let's just make sure it goes to a white light, and if it goes to a white light, let's make sure we get display. And then I'm going to shut it down and mess with the power supply for a little while. Yep, we get a display. So that's just rebooting. It just had to rebuild its database. Nice fix, that was easy. I don't want to leave it at that though. I think I want to at least have a look at the power supply and just see what the deal is. Right, so I mean, technically that's fixed. I'm not gonna quite call it fixed yet, so I'm gonna put that away for a minute, and then I'm gonna make a quick little disclaimer and say that, exactly as someone just said, you're not qualified to work with power supply. I don't care. I'm not qualified to fix consoles either. You don't have to be qualified, you just have to be competent. But I am going to give a disclaimer and say that unless you are confident and competent and observant and any other big fancy word that you can think of, you probably should not be messing with a power supply, because they are dangerous. They are incredibly dangerous. Anyone at any time can have a underlying heart condition that they do not know about. So whether you think you're healthy or not, you could have an underlying heart condition. These power supplies can carry a lot more than 240 volts or 120 volts or 110 volts or 230 volts or wherever you are in the world. They can carry a lot more power than that. The capacitors in these alone are incredibly high voltage. They are incredibly high voltage and they are incredibly dangerous. If you've got any kind of underlying heart condition, it can literally kill you. And I am not going to be responsible if you kill yourself. I am doing this purely for entertainment purposes only. I am not a qualified power supply technician, and I do not work on power supplies for customers. I just want to know what failed. it intrigued me. And part of life is figuring out what fails. So we're going to have a look at the power supply. And one thing I did fit a couple of days ago are 2 little buttons. And that button will isolate my IEC-C7 cable. So now if I go into AC voltage, now bear in mind this is AC voltage, you should not sit there probing AC voltage with bare hands, but you can see there that is completely isolated and I've got no power running through that at all. If I turn that switch on, we're getting 243 volts. So yeah, I can isolate this power cable. I did install that a couple of days ago, so I can isolate the power cable while I'm messing around and ensure that everything's cut off. But just because you've isolated a power cable does not mean there is no voltage inside this. Not even close. You can still have incredibly high voltage and incredibly high current running through this power supply. These power supplies will put out up to 10 amps, and it's not the volts that kill, it's current. It is quite a shocking disclaimer, yeah. So this is dangerous, and if you kill yourself, I'm not going to allow you to come back and haunt me. I'll just fuck you up. So if you come back and haunt me, I'll fuck you up and I'll kill you again. And if you don't kill yourself but you severely hurt yourself and you try and sue me, then I'm going to laugh in your face in front of the judge, because I've warned you. I'm not going to be responsible for your stupidities. My stupidities are my problem. If I electrocute myself, if I shock myself, if I hurt myself, that is my problem. No one else's. And it makes more interesting content if I do it live on stream, okay? So I'm very likely going to be replacing the power supply for the customer anyway, but I just want to know what's failed in this. I don't really care about fixing it too much. I just want to see what's failed. I've got to try and get into the thing first. I hate trying to get into these because there's a risk just in trying to get into it. If you slip, they're not built to be open. They're not built to be open because they are dangerous. I agree, they are dangerous. But for anyone saying, oh, you're not qualified, I don't care. There's no one around me who can get hurt apart from me. And anyone who is thinking that this is a tutorial, they're wrong. Because I'm just doing this for the sake of it. I'm not doing it to teach anyone anything, because I need to learn myself. I just genuinely can't get into this freaking power supply though. Be safe. I'll be alright. I'll be alright because, like I said, I am observant on what I'm doing, and I am competent enough to open them. I mean, I rewired my entire fucking house, for God's sake. I think I'm competent enough to open a power supply. I've rerouted every gas line in my own house. I've rerouted the water in my own house. Alright, I'm going to keep that in there just to keep it pried while I run around and pop some clips. Oh, and by the way, the electric and gas, yes, it's been safety checked since, and it passed. Please use something with proper insulation. I am. I am. Look, it's insulated, dude. Come on, stop whining. Come on, you motherfucker. I'm trying to find the clips, and it's just not having any of it. Alright, well, I guess I'm going to just stick a load of random crap inside it to keep it open. There we go. There we go. Boom. They're not meant to be opened. There you go. Right. Well, Like I said, these are incredibly dangerous. So do not try this at home, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? And we're in. That's the furthest I can zoom. Let me test the voltage on these caps. So, being very careful where I'm touching. I'm going to test these big 450 volt capacitors. And as you can see, this has been off for about 10 minutes and it still has 267 volts in it. It is discharging, it is draining, but it's still holding 267 volts. That is why you do not fuck with power supplies, because they're dangerous. Why are you shaking? I'm not shaking. Why the pink gloves? Yeah. No, I'm not that way inclined, but someone told me to get gloves, so just as a joke I got pink ones. Yeah. Thermal cam, see what gets hot. Ow. See, that gets real hot. That controller's getting pretty hot. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so that's pretty hot from what I just felt. But I don't know if that's normal or not. So obviously this is getting hot. So yeah, that PWMic is the only thing getting hot. I am not touching that with my hands, by the way. I'm pushing it with the cotton swab. Right. Bang. Bang, bang, bang. Use your tweezers. Tweezers are not insulated. You can't use tweezers. Come on, dude. You can't use tweezers. Don't use tweezers. Like that would be silly. Like, you need something insulated. My knife is insulated. Okay, I'm gonna give you right. Check this out. I've just used my knife, right? Imagine what that's gonna do to your fucking hands. Took a chunk out my knife. That's pure steel. And this is still gonna be recharging itself. It's still got 86 volts in it. But 86 volts isn't nowhere near as bad. But look at that, I've just discharged that once. By the way, you discharge one and you discharge them both, because they are both connected together. But that's going to recharge. You could use a lamp. Yeah, you could, yeah. Okay, so now I can do some testing. Now I know it's somewhat safe. These transistors here are what was getting hot. 0.427, we've got open line that way. 0.427 that way. 0.632, open line. Open line. I think that's right. Don't think they're shorted. Look at him like acting like he knows something. Yeah, I don't think those ones are shorted. They don't appear to be. I'm still being careful where I'm touching because them caps are going to recharge. 0.08. Right, what was showing up as 0.08 then? Do you have a donor PSU? Yeah, I've already replaced it, yeah. The only thing that's getting hot is that controller. I'm assuming that those transistor things are going to get hot. They are passing a lot of current. Yeah. I think it's this controller again. I don't work on power supplies, mate. I'm just intrigued on what killed it. Just genuinely intrigued on what killed it, mate. D133 is showing up as short on both sides. Can hear traffic cops in the background. Yeah, Sarah's watching it. So let me move that diode and just see what happens. DT133's bypassed by a resistor. Actually, yeah, it does look like it is, yeah. You got a good point there, it is bypassed by a resistor. You are absolutely correct. D133, which is that diode that says S1 on it, so this one here, is bypassed by a 0 ohm resistor, and is absolutely correct. So this trace here goes to here, and then this trace here goes to here, and it is bypassed by what is essentially acting as a fuse. So yeah, good spot there. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to fix this personally. Like I said, I don't know power supplies. I was just intrigued on what failed. I'm thinking, if anything, it's going to be this power management IC, this thing here, because that's the only thing that's getting hot. I mean, the transistors are getting hot, but yeah, that's kind of normal for transistors. I'm just intrigued as to whether it's actually the controller that's failing on them, or whether it's something completely different. It just intrigues me, that's all. I just want to know what the hell causes it. Yeah, an open line on that one. That one's got a 510. I don't know what value that is, but we're getting 0.031. Zero point zero zero 0.004 and 0.004. That one's short, and that goes directly into the controller. No, it's not showing up as short. Hey, Mr. Wayne's here. How's it going, mate? That's not showing up as short now. I wonder if that diode was the cause. Nah, it's still not outputting any voltage. I don't think I'll be able to fix this. Yeah, still. Put back the good diode. I'm not going to waste any more time on it, mate. I'm going to just scrap it, move on to something else. Isolation Nation. Resetting a reference level. Yeah, I just don't know what half of that means. £70 of your time, yeah, pretty much, mate, yeah. No, it's all good. I'm going to send that power supply to Steve B, that's what I'm going to do. Steve B, if you're watching, mate, DM me, send me your address. Steve B will find out what's wrong with those power supplies. He works on them every single day. So I'm going to send that to Steve B. Steve B already knows what's wrong with it and he hasn't even seen it. Yeah, mate, you're probably right. You're probably right, mate. No, on a serious note, Steve B does work on power supplies, and he will find out and let us all know what's wrong. But I think it's that. I think it's that IC. But yeah, you know, it is what it is. No worries, Steve. Send me your address, mate, and I'll get it sent over to you on Monday morning and be with you by Tuesday. Yeah, so you can figure out what's wrong with it, mate, and as payment you can just keep the power supply. At least I'll know what kind of chips to put that Zener back on. Nah, I'll find it and mail it with it. He can put it on himself, lazy bastard. I don't even know where I've put it. I'll grab one off another board. I don't know where it's gone. Sorry. I'll grab one off another board and just stick it to it. Oh dear. How have I ruined it, John? Please explain. Please explain how I've ruined it. I will bet you £100 super chat that this console turns on. How's that? I'll bet you £100 super chat that this console turns on. It might turn on for a while then pack up. How? Please explain to me how. Because you've done nothing but troll tonight. Please explain to me. Mods, don't block him. Please explain to me how this console is going to fuck up in a couple of weeks' time. Please explain, because I would love to know. And I'm sure the rest of chat would love to know as well. Proof is in the pudding. Alright, he's got no answer. Go on, carry on, Wayne. Have your fun, mate. Scrappy Perra. Yeah, have your fun, mate. He's got no answer. He's just being a dick. So, bye-bye, John. Wayne's about to get all Shaggy and Scooby on your ass. He's talking out his ass. I've just changed the fucking power supply for a working power supply. He just doesn't know what he's talking about. See, there's a big difference between me and John. The difference between me and John is, number one, I can actually fix things, which is why he now owes me £100 super chat. If he doesn't pay up, I'm taking him to fucking court. That was a verbal agreement. Oh, better switch it on. Ready? Bang. Oh yeah. Now you owe me £100 super chat, and I'm going to take you to court because we had a verbal agreement.
Just subscribed on Twitch.
Much more polite and respectful. Thank you, each bye. So, number one, I'm right, you're wrong. Number two, you don't share information. I put all of my information that I fucking learn out there for free for people to watch. For free. And by the way, I don't care if you unsubscribe, you're just a dick anyway. And C, no one cares what you think anyway. So, life's a bitch, and then you meet John. He's been banned. He's probably still watching, beating it off to Pop Idol. Oh Johnny, when you tried to come and troll me, you got banned by Jess, oh Johnny.